I had a real powerful dream. So the dream starts out. I'm in these fields like Bluegrass Airport, and they're flying around these planes and like getting ready to crash them. And it's like the planes aren't crashing though. They're like going down and then they don't crash. It's like they can suspend in air and just sit there or something, and it's all these lines like Predator of the KCPC, the Lieutenant Colonel who is in the Top Gun Maverick. He you know and he looked just like he looked when he was at KCPC, and he knew Rihanna. And so then I'm in this boat, and I'm like, where they drop us off in the middle of the ocean, and the ocean becomes a river, and there's these islands, and we're in India, and it's me and Minister Paul, and they just drop us off, and they're like, okay, just go ahead, and like we start swimming, and then Minister Paul has a surfboard, and he's like kind of he's doing both. He's like swimming, and then he's like using the board for protection and to get through like obstacles. And then I don't have anything. I'm just sitting there swimming, and like there's these jungles, and so then I'm like watching the shadow, and I'm like, Minister Paul, there's a hammerhead shark underneath you. It's going by your leg, and then he's swimming and paddling, and then I'm like, there it is. I see it, and so we get to shore, and we we get the hammerhead shark out of water, and I get this big rail that it's like kind of like Jeepers Creepers, this big like piece of steel rail like for a railroad train, and it's just like one side of it, and it's like a piece of steel that would attach to something, and it's got holes in it, and it's kind of a like a rail piece. Like it's not really good to hold, because it's like it's curved on the one side, like it has um like it's lined out, so I just stick it right in the hammerhead shark's head. And then me and Minister Paul, after I stick it in the shark's body too, I do two stabbings with the rail, and I kill the shark. And then me and Minister Paul go to this party, and he's telling the story, and he's thrilled, man. He's like, so then he's like telling the whole story, and he's like thrilled. I mean, I was so happy, man. I was like, yeah, Minister Paul. I was like, we did it, man. Like, he's telling everybody the story, man, and he's so happy. Like he knew everybody. He knew everyone there. It was like we were gonna live in India. So then it's like I'm like, okay, what's all this? And so then Minister Paul cuts off, and he's on Oprah, and he looks like this big football player, and he's like telling the story again. He's telling the story again on Oprah. It was like the Maury Show or something. And he's like, yes. So then we were in India, and they show the map, and there's this big lake in India, and then like they put the map by California. They're like, here's California on the left side, here's India on the right side with the big lake. They're like, look what you did in your life. They're like, look what you did. And So then he's just so happy. So then suddenly I'm in this room with these kids, and it's like Saudi Arabia kids that have masks on, and then these Jewish kids, and I'm like sitting there with like these. I call them these Jangos and these blobs, Jangos and blobs. So then Cooper Ray comes in, and I'm like, man, I know that something's going down. This is what I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, something just went down. And I said, I'm all yours, Cooper Ray. Let's go. I said, let's go. I'm down, man. No problem at all. I said, I'm in this room with Django's and Blobs and Saudi kids and Israel. And I said they're fighting about something. And I said, you know what? They were all at the river, man. They were at the river, and they got called out of school because they were at the river, bro. So then, like me and Cooper start walking, and suddenly it's ultimate frisbee, and I throw the frisbee as far as I can, and Jesus catches it. Liz catches it. So then I'm like, oh man, we're gonna play ultimate frisbee. So then, I'm in this room like getting ready to play, and it's like the weight room at CUI, but it's like a soda shop. I'm getting like a soda or something, and Grace Thugposh is in there, and she says, well, I want to talk about how Jesus is a man, and I said, if you want to talk about that, you're talking about somebody who was a man that was a woman who had to live as a man her whole life and then get eaten by a shark. I said, she got eaten by a shark. And I said, so if you talking about that, you talking about some scary stuff, man. Like, that's nothing to play around with. So then we get ready to play, and they show the teams, and we're on Liz's team, and she cut her hair off. She cut her hair off, and she's in this black collared. She's in a black collared shirt and pants on, and she looks like she's like, a little bit heavier, and it looked like that she was like trying to look like a man, like she's like a lesbian. So then I'm like, oh man, I gotta handle this. So then the dream ends right there. So that was my dream. I just wanted to share it. I don't know what it means. It really disturbed me. So I gotta share a dream like that. I gotta share that I can remember, because it was really, really disturbing. The whole thing. And all right, thank you.